Come on in, everybody. Welcome, one and all. We're going to try to keep people unmuted until necessary.
Hold
And
on a
hopefully,
second. No, no,
hopefully
no.
if you need to say something, please mute.
Hello,
And
John.
hello. Hello. Awesome. Let's see. Waiting on Derek and somebody. Mhm.
No,
This is being recorded, Sean. Yes. Yes.
I'll keep it
Yes.
on the Bluetooth.
Please. Oh, hey, Derek. I didn't see you there. Derek, can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear
No.
you.
Awesome. Hey, Derek. All right, everybody, welcome. So
I did. I'm sure you can imagine.
our last day, we're going to
Yeah,
mute here.
assumed 3.
Okay. Derek, I will have to mute because I totally forgot to get in touch with Ben about getting this mute function work. So I'm going to ask you to unmute, and then we'll keep letting people in. And we have Dr. V in the house. I think I saw him. Yep, I see him. And you know what? I'm going to check real quickly over on the circle group. So give me 2 seconds to find out who our second lovely contestant is on The Price is Right. Remember that? Anybody remember that? Okay. Give me 2 seconds here. All right. And meanwhile, field any questions you have with Derek. We're going to dive into the same kind of training that we did yesterday with two different students. And Alvaro posted a cool thing in BookBuilder that it actually quoted me, which is weird and cool. Maybe he asked that on purpose. Stuart's got already a cover design, which is really nice. Looking through here and going through my comments. Okay. So we've got Dr. V and um, you know what? I don't know if Becky got back to me or not. So Becky, are you on the call? Let me see here. Becky, are you on the call? Well, we had two others, and I'm going to read off those in case Becky can't make it. I thought it was Becky, and I could be wrong. That could be my mistake. We've had some like weird last 2 days have been very disjointed. I mean, for us, we're normally relatively together, but Josh just completely spazzed on a call today and just completely, I mean, just like for no reason. And then I'm like forgetting to check with my tech guys on this, mainly because we're also doing a whole bunch of cool stuff, which I'll show you. So it's like I'm trying to, keep too many plates juggling, which is kind of a problem, but it's all good. Let's give me 2 seconds here. Let's see here. Okay. Users announced. Here we go. Okay. We've got Liz, Kevin, Becky, and Dr. V. So uh, if it's not Becky, it will be Liz or Kevin. And in our spirit of ladies first, Liz, are you on the call? If you're on the call, just ping so in the chat.
Yep, I'm here.
Oh, cool. Okay. We got Liz and Dr. V then, and we'll do Becky, and then we'll do Becky and Kevin next week. And then we'll probably do two calls next week as well, because we want to get two folks that don't have anything. Meaning, it doesn't matter if you don't have an idea. If you just know you want to write a book and you have a general vague idea of the subject matter. So we want to take somebody from that because it's kind of cool to take the whole big outline thing, but I think it's even more fun to see how fast you can do something with absolutely nothing. So, all right. So, all right. We want to start. Liz, would you like to start in our Spirit of Ladies first?
Sure, I can start. What do you want me to handle? I actually finished the book, the first version last night.
Oh,
So,
wow. Oh, well, then cool. We'd love to see it and see what you started with. And yeah, we had that. I think Francis did the same thing. So, um, so let's see what you started with and the outline and how you like it and anything that you need help with. That's what we're here for.
okay. Actually, what I started with was a bunch of separate pieces. So I had the ideas for the questions, the ideas for the problems of our target market. I kind of have a panel that we use in ChatGPT that I've created of our various avatars.
Hmm.
So if I have an idea for a market or a book or a product or whatever, I will run through the questions with that panel that I've created to kind of get feedback for where I should go. And I build the outlines in pieces. Then I took the format for the outline builder that you had in the book builder
Hmm.
section
Hmm.
and just ran through all of those questions that we were supposed to fill out sections for. I would
Hmm.
run that through my panel in ChatGPT and say, okay, what are their main problems or questions or objections or whatever? And then I just created separate text files and threw all those into Book Builder.
Okay. Can you share your screen and show us?
Let's see. Share screen. So this is kind of a mess. I wasn't actually planning on doing this today, so bear with me.
Oh, yeah, it's fine. If you want to do it next week, we can do it next week as well. So I took you by surprise. So um,
Um,
totally fine if
I
it.
mean, if we want to look through all the outline pieces, I would have to get that for next week. But if you want to just see the finished version, then that was already
Well,
done.
sure, we'll divide it in half. Let's just look at the finished version. And so what Liz did is the questions that we're asking an outliner, we're asking if you already, and it's really good that you did that. So there's no wrong way to do this. I'm not saying that at all. What I'm saying is that you don't have to fill anything in at all. You really just have to put a bunch of stuff into the tell me about your book field. That being said, the more you do in advance, the more control you're going to have over the outline, the more control you're going to have over that. So there you go. So
Can
great. You
you
want
see?
to? Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay.
And that
So
sequence is important rather than putting it in up front instead of appending it later.
I'm sorry, can you say again?
So you said the more stuff you put in, the more control you'll have, the better output you might have. So my
Uh,
question was, how important is the sequence of that in terms of putting it in up front versus appending things later after you've created the book?
makes little difference as long as when you put something in later, you rewrite that particular chapter. It's not going to make any difference at all. But
Right.
yeah. So what I think Liz did a great job of just breaking all this into obviously links, chapters, and all this. Yeah, very very specific, which is great.
mhm.
Okay, and so I will, yeah, and so next week I'd love to see how you went about basically you did a little bit of research beforehand. And so we built Book Builder to do a lot of that research for you, but it's completely open. That's why we asked for people with outlines or people with ideas beforehand, just so that we could say, hey, how did it work with your ideas? Because we were just testing it today with really specific ideas and it was keeping all those ideas intact. So that's something that AI doesn't like to do, by the way. So this is great.
Yeah, no, this is great with it keeping the flow. The only challenge I really had was we were introducing a concept of synchronicity in the first part, and then we revisited that in part 5 with the concept of taking it to the next level. And
Mhm.
since the AI has a challenge remembering what it's written before, or that it just can't even go back that far, it was a constant process of refocusing and refocusing. But I was able to do it all through just refocusing. So, a section might have taken 3 times to rewrite, but it was just getting more and more specific with my prompts and focuser to get it to do what I wanted it to do.
Great. I'm going to also give you another way to do that for everybody else. So, what we're going to do is we're going to kind of go back and forth between sharing your final book here and let me share Book Builder itself. Is that cool with you, Liz?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. And the other reason I wanted to share this is because there's already changes to how we're doing the things in Book Builder that will make it easier for you. If you refresh, you're going to see that we have step 1, 2, 3, and 4 now. The interesting thing is
Wow.
you don't even have to do these. You don't even have to do step 1 at all. That's just if you don't have any idea whatsoever what you're going to be writing about, you do step 1. Step 2 is the outliner, and we've made the outliner much simpler. Step 3 is the generator itself. And step 4 is also optional. You don't have to have a last chapter profit close. So really only you need is these two right here that you absolutely need. So what I want to show Liz is, let me open up a project here. And this is our admin. So we have tons and tons and tons of projects. So let's see. Okay, we'll open up anything here. There's a lot of these. There's gonna be a lot of books. Let's see. Okay, let's go with well, let's just go with this one because it doesn't really matter. So okay, so in this particular one, let's just go to one of these concepts. Okay, so if I wanted to say go deeper with this right here in chapter 3, for example, or chapter 10 or chapter 12, it doesn't really matter. What you can do is you can copy this. And if I go over to teaching concept, I'll pick something I know I don't have, right? It's going to ask me, do you want to focus on something? And I can say, focus on, do not repeat anything here, and focus on diving deeper into the subject. And I'll just copy and paste the entire thing here. So that's one way you can do that. And that's even easier than Focuser. And we'll come back here when this writes. It takes about a minute to 3 minutes to write this. And well, now that's kind of be weird because I don't even know what my part 5 teaching concept is. It could be completely off the rails, but you get the idea. So that's a cool way of doing that. And if your focus field is already filled in, like you can see, like it will be now, I can just go in here into show all fields. You just click this button, show all your blueprint fields, and just come down to focus. And you don't, so this doesn't even have a part 5. So this is going to be really weird because this is like we're testing a 3-part book, so it may not even work. That's why the part 5 is empty. So we're going to show you how to do all that today too, by the way. So I've got a little bit of tutorial to show you here, but that's the way I would do that inside Book Builder to start it off in the right direction. And that way you don't have to use Focuser afterwards unless you really want to. But Focuser afterwards does the same thing, but you have to figure out kind of what to tell it. You could, do it a little bit easier this way.
Nice.
Yeah, and I have
Yes.
a clarification. So Liz,
Sure.
with what John just showed you, and I'm asking this because John, I think there's a way we can, tweak some things so it remembers what it wrote before and work around that. Liz, is that the issue? Is that it was just kind of repeating some stuff that it had already written, and if you just tell it not to, is that what you had to do?
Yes. Yeah, it kept reintroducing the topic instead of taking it further. So in each section, I would have to tell it, don't reintroduce the topic, don't explain what this is, take it to the next level. And when I finally got to that level of prompt, then I was getting the results that I wanted. But so yeah, it's just that it didn't remember.
Yeah,
but
that's perfect.
This makes it simple.
Yeah, so that what you're seeing right now, this will work around it for anyone, and then this is the kind of feedback that helps us because we can we can tweak some stuff on our end to say, look at what you wrote before. There's ways we can do it behind the scenes, look at what was written before. So it's not going to, in the output, less effort for you to have to refocus that. But the point being the time for the moment, you can do this adjustment. And then John, we can, I think we can find ways to tweak this.
Yeah. And while this is writing, Liz, and this is for everybody else too, we're already in the works of this, which is I kind of hinted around to it in last week's Benson call that our team may have found a way to take what we're doing here, which is this is called agentic chaining. So we're using both agents and chains to call and make the AI reason with itself and call different models and different things if we need to, based on or having something run again based on agentic scoring and things like that. So if it's things, sometimes this will work faster and sometimes it'll work slower because sometimes it just doesn't pass the test. So you don't see any of that. You just see it doing this, right? What we've got a new tool that we're playing around with that integrates with Benson, and it's gonna in we've tested a few things off the off the cuff, and it was able to do this about 5, 6 times faster, which is awesome. And so it'll just be, every chapter would take 30 seconds at tops, right? And the other thing, there's a lot of other cool things about it. So we're going to be playing around with that over the next couple of months to see if we can get that to be integrated as well. But here, I'll show you now. This was working on a big assumption that I had a part 5. I just chose whatever I knew I didn't have. Unfortunately, I didn't realize I don't even have a part 5. We're going to show you how to get smaller parts of your books today because we rolled this out today. So I have no idea what's going to write. Well, we're going to find out. And I'll be able to tell you if it might not have anything to pull from because there's no data here. I should have pulled something I had data from. So if there's nothing writes, that's why. It's human error. Human error, always the worst. Okay. That's probably good one. I have no idea what you're talking about. You don't have anything at all here for me to pull from, so I'm just gonna spurge on you. Let's see if it can figure something out here. Sometimes the AI takes a little bit of time to catch up with it, so we'll see. It looks like it's going to spurge out. That's my fault, guys. Sorry about that. I'll pick one that I do have something with it, and then we can go on to something else. But this is what I would do. I would come in here and I would do this exact quote right here, and let me choose one that actually has some content to it. I was trying to pick something that would be like, okay, something that doesn't have anything. This doesn't have any content either. Part 2. So these were all test files, in case you're wondering. That's why we don't have any content in here. I have content in my real book. Okay, I'll just do this right here. Okay, so I'll just take this exact same thing here. I'll come in here and say same exact thing. Do not repeat anything here. I focus on diving deeper into the subject. Now, in reality, this could be a focus or prompt as well. So I would put it in focus, or if I was using this exact chapter, I would just put it here. So you could just do the same thing here and just run the focuser because it's faster. And focuser, as you're going to see, is super faster. So, right. Now it said, so the provided data is empty, meaning it's that we don't have anything there. So, yeah, I found I'm 0 for 2, guys. Pretty bad. All right, let's try this here. Okay, then I would just write like this. Same thing you did, Liz. You don't have to spell everything correctly, by the way. Now, this is not true, but this is what I would say. And I will just copy and paste this and send this to you guys. Yeah, so there you go. So that's exactly what I would do there. So that's a much faster way of doing that. What I was going to show you is you didn't even have to mess with that if you did it in focus. So if I wanted to for example, if I want to in chapter 20 down here and I haven't written it yet, if I want to reference this, I'll just copy this and say in the focus, be sure to reference this. And it will say, like I said back in chapter 3 when I talked about blah, blah, blah. That's all you have to do. And that was the trick I was going to try to show you, but it has to have something there to reference. In this case, it was just an empty, there was no data there to reference. So that's why that didn't work. But now that does work. So I'm going to copy that prompt over to you guys in case you need it. And you would just say, you've already introduced topic, whatever your topic is.
Now, is that something that you would do preemptively in the outline before you even start writing, or would you just do it as you're going along?
Yeah, you can put this, I'm going to type it in here, this in the focus field before before writing, or in focuser. Every time somebody pings me, it takes my cursor out. Focuser after it's written. And I'm going to send this to all of you. There you go. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna let
Nice.
Okay, cool. So yeah, so we're going to turn this into a little bit because I took Liz completely by surprise. Liz, we will definitely get to you next week with the outline so we can see what the outline. Love to if you want to share anything about your book, just how in general it was written, that'd be awesome. You can share that if you'd like.
Well, we used the upsell process and the initial product that we were focusing it on. So there are multiple promotions in the book, and then we did use that last chapter focuser to drive people at the end of the book back to the offer.
Oh,
So
great.
yeah,
Do
it's
you
really
mind
cool.
sharing one of those chapters so you can just show people what we're talking about?
Yeah, let me see which one it was. Let me see.
Yeah. what what Liz is talking about is we have the ability to turn any chapter you have into something that sells an offer that you have or offers that you want to promote or the book itself, everything. So we believe in the book should be a selling machine. And there's dozens and dozens of ways to turn it into this. We covered one of them in the call yesterday. That's what Liz is referring to. We cover much more when we go into marketing studio. And yeah, from when I could sit with reading the book, it read great. Hmm.
Yeah, so here's one where we're at the end of it, we're talking about our power quadrant system. So it just smoothed it right in there at the very end, and we hyperlinked it in, and it's just a natural
Perfect.
progression.
Right. Now, so yeah, it's important to work that in is like so speaking of that and sometimes it'll get really specific like and speaking of, XYZ, there's something that will help you master XYZ. It's called blank. And so we want to
Mhm.
have those kind of conversations with our users or our readers rather and that helps it's a very very soft sell, but
Mhm.
you've got so much trust built up. In this case, you're what 22 chapters in. You've got so much trust built up. Then the
Yeah,
moment that you mention something like this, it just becomes almost a given that they're going to go check it out. And
right,
no, so clear it now. So Book Builder wrote 33 chapter book here, right? Including the ends.
right.
This is a nice meaty sized book and fantastic. It's
Yeah. And then
fantastic.
this is that final sales letter at the very end using I forget what you called it. It's the step 4.
Yep. Final chapter profit close. Yep.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
that's this.
Uh, yeah. So yeah, so this is written in the same style as Liz's book that is combines. There's a lot of like subtle NLP in here and subtle direct response copy in here, but you don't want to come across like a sales letter. It doesn't want to shift into a Gary Halbert pitch, right? We need to keep it in the same voice, and we need to make sure that that moves very intentionally with the book. Because what we notice with books is books are a lot like sales pages in one sense that what people do on a written sales page is they'll read the headline, the subheadline, they'll scroll a little bit, and they'll scroll all the way to the bottom. It's one reason I created VSLs is to keep people from scrolling to the bottom. Let's make somebody read every single word because then when they get to the bottom, they're not informed on the sale. When they get to the last chapter book, if you notice, I mean, you probably have done this yourself. You'll start reading a book and then people just flip to the the last chapter, not like in a fiction book because you don't want to know the end of it. But sometimes people will just flip to the last chapter just to see kind of like, okay, what's the summary of the book? What's the big thing? You know, and at least I do. So we've noticed that and we take advantage of it by putting it here. That's the best place to put it. And then throughout. Awesome, Liz. Thank you very much for sharing.
No, thank you.
And so, Dr. V, would you like to come on and share what you got and tell us what's going on with your book?
Oh, I can unmute. This is so cool.
Yeah.
Ah, I feel like I have control again, if that's an illusion. Let's see. I want to make sure I got the right, before I do a screen share, make sure I got the right thing. I got a little stuck in Book Builder because yeah, I think we're okay with this screen sharing here. You don't get to see all my tax info. Not this time. I got stuck in this area when it came to book building with respect to style, because I thought it was like conversational or something. Let me go to my actual screen. So when I got here, it just says content writer. And I thought, is that the default?
No, that's actually that's yeah, that's not a style. That's in fact that's a mistake.
Okay,
I
because I
just
was
took a screen
wondering.
capture.
Yeah.
That's oh, I know what this is. It's because okay, yeah, it's because you've narrowed the search on the left to Book Builder, and Book Builder
Oh,
only has copy, so it's the only thing it does.
so if I take
So
that
yeah,
out,
take that out. Now hit copy style. I thought that was
copy
a mistake.
style,
So there are no options there. So
options.
yeah, so you have to select a copy type. Now you don't have to do what Dr. V did. Like say select in Book Builder, there's only one thing. You're in the Book Builder tab, so that's it. So if you're searching for something in like if you're in frameworks and you want to find a VSL, that's where you select copy type. And under VSL, there might be a style like would be direct response or mini or short. That's what that means. It doesn't mean writing style.
Okay.
You
I
always
had I had an outline. I did go into blueprints and finally figured it out for the first time because I'm a little slow. And I managed. There were several blueprints that I had, and then this is the one that I chose was for uh, prettying up a doctor's practice in order to make it saleable at a higher multiple.
hmm
And so, but that's where I kind of got stuck because I have the outline, which is this is about 5,000 words or so, and
hmm
this condensed one is about 840. And when I went into Blueprint, it wouldn't accept some of the links. I thought we were allowed like 5,000 to 10,000 words, and that's where I got
Okay,
lost.
why don't we just take this right from the start?
Good.
Let's because this is what I wanted to do is like let's show you guys right from the start. So let's create a new blueprint. Let's do this right from the start.
A new one. Okay,
Yeah.
not this one that I'm going to be doing.
No,
Okay.
no, because it's totally cool because I want to show you because
Okay, sure.
this
Let's
is most
go.
likely human error. So
Human
nothing
error.
personal.
Yeah, that's me.
Most
Uh,
likely human error.
let's see. I got to get out of that thing.
Oh no, just got click blueprints.
I just got blueprints. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Come here. There you go.
And click the plus
Okay.
and let's create a new blueprint. Call it whatever.
Let's call it
Okay, perfect. And copy all 5,000 words there. Copy the long
all
one.
5,000 words.
Sure.
Well, this is not correct because I do have one for that actually has to do with the entrepreneur's brain.
Well, I mean, I'm just trying to walk
I'll
you
just do an
through like,
example. Okay, that's
yeah,
fine.
yeah,
So
yeah,
take this,
yeah,
all copy.
right.
Whoops, get out of there.
Now I'll show you a really cool trick here. Let's say that this is the book that you want to write, but you
Yep,
also need a blueprint for it. So just create it magically.
magically.
Benson's going to have no problem with this at all. It's like,
Okay.
so it's just going to take about 60 seconds to create. As it's working here, just give it 60 seconds or so.
I do love
Sometimes
that little graphic, by the way. It just fascinates me. I don't know why.
Yeah, no, we vacillate between that and the humorous, messages we send you on the other bar. But so what we're doing here is I want to make sure that everyone understands the way Book Builder works. Book Builder works on an assumption that you want to sell something. I know it's crazy. It's crazy talk, but that your book is not just the only thing that you want to sell. If it is, and let's just pretend for the moment that this is the case, that he's got a 5,000 word outline for a book called The Entrepreneur's Brain, but he needs to understand the marketing for that book still needs to be done. So you still want to start with a blueprint because you have to sell your book to someone.
Mhm.
So what it's going to do is look at that book script and that outline and go, who is the best people to sell this to and how do they talk? Notice it was able to find your name, of course. It found your background, everything about your practice. It's gonna do all this incredibly fast. But if you scroll down and you look at buyers, look at what Benson has determined as the buyers of this. Let's just see how accurate we are. So practice management. So that's your number one target is people who have existing practices, right? Doctors, healthcare practitioners. So you sell their healthcare practice for maximum profit. That's it. That's the primary goal. So in other words, the book that he's going to be writing to, this is what they need to know. That's who they need to know. But this is an interesting. So this is a little bit different than other people will use Book Builder. And let me give you myself as an example. Let's say that I have a blueprint for Benson, the AI software, and I want to create a book for copy editing. So this is an actual real life example. So I've got a new book it's called Conversion Optimization, and the title of the book is called Convert. So I want to write convert, how to turn your messages into how to turn your words into messages that sell. It's all about editing copy, but I want to sell Benson inside that book. So I'm going to use the Benson blueprint and go into create the outline inside the Benson blueprint, but the book is going to be not, I'm not talking about Benson in the book. I'm just referencing the same audience. See, I'm thinking like a marketer and not just like a writer. Yes, I'm a writer, but you got to be a marketer if you want your self-published book to sell, and this is what we want. So if you think like a marketer, who's going to buy this? And who else is going to be interested in this? So I will take a product like Benson and say, what other things might they be interested in? Well, editing or how to put together a VSL, like literally like a 1, 2, 3, I'm putting together a VSL. Well, that's the same audience. It's the same audience. And so I would put that in there and go, oh, by the way, if you need the words for your VSL, I got the perfect tool. It's called Benson. And this is how we write the book. This is how every chapter is in the book is weaves in these messages, which is very subtly and very cool. So now, Dr. V, I want to show you a cool trick. Let's scroll down and let's close that. You can you can close tabs if you want to. So go to Book Builder.
Oh, wait, I'll go over here to BookBuilder.
Nope, just go right where you were.
Oh,
Okay.
I mean,
Now,
here, yeah, got
yeah,
it.
really cool trick. Click on that magic wand.
Okay. Oh, this one, the main one.
Uh-huh.
Main
Yep.
image. Okay,
And click use blueprint data.
got it.
Now you got your 5,000 word outline, and it's gonna what it's gonna do is use the same thing you used to create your blueprint to create your book.
Mhm.
So it's going to take that outline that you created and it's going to compartmentalize it into 3 to 5 sections. Now we're going to show you how to do it in 5 sections. I'm going to show you how to do it in multiple sections, how, so that you get all the detail. But this will do it in about 30 to 60 seconds. So if you're in a hurry and you want to do it this way, you certainly can. And from here, you just go into the book generator and off to the races you go. So it's good. It takes about 60 seconds for it to look things over and start building the fields. And after it does that, you'll start noticing that things look a little different than it did when it created your blueprint. When it starts filling in all these fields, it's going to start looking more like your outline, and it's going to find all the parts of your outline and put it into the parts that the book builder needs to create a book. So again, this is because you've got what 5,000 word outline. It's going to take
Right.
roughly a minute or so for this to work, but it's a lot faster. So if
Okay.
you did not have an outline at all, for example, if let's say he didn't,
Mhm.
and he just wanted to create I created 50 words and created my entire blueprint, which Benson can do. Well, guess what? That works too. It will still create this entire thing. So it's pretty cool. Now, and by the way, when you're using a lot of text, like 5,000 words, you just got to give the AI some time because we got a lot of clients and we got a lot of people using it. So sometimes it'll take a little bit of time. And on occasion, you're going to, AI is going to say, well, we timed out because it's just that happens with every AI on the planet. So hopefully this isn't going to happen here. But if it does, if it takes longer than a minute, just refresh the screen.
Yeah,
And
I did freak out a little bit when I saw this because I kept thinking, God, I don't know all these little parts that I need to put in
you
there.
don't have to. You don't have
Yeah,
to know any of them.
thank
Yeah,
you.
you don't have to know any of them. So, did you refresh?
I did.
Oh, okay. Okay, let's go down to
Oh,
Book Builder again.
it did pull in things like backstory.
No, that's your blueprint. Let's go down to Book Builder.
Um,
No, go close.
oh, sorry.
Yeah,
Did it again. Let me go back. Down, down. Oh, it's not gonna let me. Okay. Go back to blueprints.
yeah, sure.
Okay.
And Entrepreneur's Brain.
Oh, there it is.
And now close the Bio tab just because it's going to allow us to scroll faster and go to Book Builder and
Mhm.
open that tab. Okay, yeah. So right when you closed it, it finished right. So
Got it.
it's like
Okay. Huh.
exit strategy 2.0, how you can help build scale, blah blah blah. So
Yeah.
you can just write through here and just it almost guarantee you that it's got everything in that outline that it was able to grab just that quickly. So this is the quick version. So it's not going to be as detailed as what I'm going to walk you through in a
Mhm.
moment. I'll show you how to do the detailed version. But as you can see, this stripped out everything from your outline and put it into its own little format here. So and let's just scroll down. So you got part two's title. Let's see, you've got part two, all the teaching concepts. I don't know anything about this, so I don't know if it's right. Part three title, scaling revenue without adding more patients. That's that's good.
Well, yeah, because most doctors are on a new patient hamster wheel. You know, they keep getting more and more new patients all the time, and they blow them out the door because they don't take good care of them. So,
Makes sense. Okay, scroll down to the part four. Let's see how many parts you got here.
good question. Oh.
So that was able to, yeah. So part four, AI powered marketing. So it got that. So in part five is, let's see if it got a part five. Sometimes it'll do 3 parts, 4 parts, 5 parts. Yeah, part five, reinventing yourself. What's next?
Yeah.
So
Okay.
it's a perfect little, you've got your whole book thing here. Now all you do is go into the book builder, create book generator, and then that's it. You're off to the races. And now you can sell that whatever is for the foundation of that blueprint has now become also the book. So, but it's as you can tell, the blueprint reads completely different than this because we these are different training models.
Mhm.
So yeah, and this is where you start creating your book. And if you want to create, you go ahead and just for grins,
Mhm.
click on Book Builder.
Oh, up here. Yeah.
So we're taking basically we're taking someone just from the very start of something. Now select that blueprint.
Mhm.
And select the book generator.
Um,
You don't need to select
oh,
anything up
sorry.
there at all.
Not
Just,
that.
yeah, click that. There you go.
Just click it.
Yep.
Okay.
And whatever you want to title it.
I'll just call it.
Okay. And then I'll show you one more thing after you pull this up here.
Okay.
And now, okay, these things are completely optional. That's why it says optional over there in the setup.
Mhm.
Yeah, if you don't have a mentor, like you might say Johannes Salk was your mentor, or you might say that,
Hey,
Tony Robbins was your mentor. If you did, this is where you put it in because it weave it into your story. If you don't, and you don't have anything else you want to sell, like any upsells, like, oh, I have this supplement or I have this, that, or the other, you can completely skip this part and click on book introduction and start writing. But as you can see, when you click on book introduction, there is nothing left for you to do but click the magic button.
huh.
So these are the only 6 fields that we ask you. If you want to fill them in, you can. If you don't have to.
Well, so like I could put in B.F. Skinner because I used to have dinner with him on a regular basis.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you could put in that. You could put in his credentials and the story that you have behind it. Yeah. And it
Yeah.
just makes it makes the book more interesting. It really does. But also you can have other things that you want to sell here. And you could fill out just the mentor and the credentials and you don't have anything else to fill out. So
I wanted to lead them to booking a call, for example, or to engage in consulting or buy a course. These would be
yeah.
the upsells. Okay.
You could do that right there. Upsell name could be like let's do a consulting call. Like upsell name could be like a private consulting call.
Mhm.
So something I want to tell you about is my private consulting call, right? Call with Dr. B or whatever, so just so whatever, right? And then you'd put the details of the right there and then in the upsell, and that's all. That's the only thing that you have to do. You don't have to be a writer. It's it's great. You'll love it.
Love
Yeah,
it.
just do something like that for grins. Just
Sure.
do something like for grins, and
Uh,
that's it, and that's all. Now
oh,
hit
that's all. Okay.
continue. We can come back to this.
All right.
Hit
So,
continue.
yeah. Okay.
Okay. So we'll start with the introduction, but now the style, I would use the style that we like this particular style. It's the one that we find to be the by far the best. Well, I say by far the best that I like to use. Now, I can't say it's the best for everything because some people have like a quirky attitude or some people have this, but the style that we recommend using, I'll paste it into the chat. I think we pasted it in there the other day. I'm just going to open up oh, I got signed out. Hold on, man. I tell you. Google signs you out if you so much as sneeze.
I didn't hear
All
anything.
right, 1 second here. Google me. Okay, sign into Google and grab that. Here is the one that we like. Putting this into the chat. And this is we are working on having basically styles will be drop downs. And you can just say, we're going to call this the default. This is going to be the default style. This is what we think makes the best general books. If you want to add something to that, you can. Like, for example, you mentioned once that you had kind of sarcastic sense of humor or something like that.
Yeah. I mean, to me, it's sort of like witty, playful, and motivational. It's kind
Okay,
of
so here's the thing that I want everyone to be very cautious with. This is with AI in general. Benson is no different, and Book Builder is no different. If you say be witty, it it's here's the metaphor or the analogy I use rather. It's like if I say talk like an Englishman. Ian's on here. How many Englishmen do we have on here? If you say talk like an Englishman, it's not going to be like, all right, so here's the story, mate. If you go over here and you go down the street, okay, you're gonna take a left at the garage, right? It's not going to be that. It's going to be, y'all, blimey, mate, bee's knees. It's going to be so freaking over the top ridiculous that you're
Right.
going to have to tone it back down. So whenever you say be humorous, it's going to start cracking dag jokes every 3 sentences. So what you want to
Which is
do in
what I
here,
do, which is kind of tragic in that
okay,
way.
well, go ahead and let's try this. Let's put my particular style preference in here, and I'll show you guys how to modify it. So copy
Okay.
that into the style field. That's the style that you want to write in.
I have some vision issues here, so I'm trying to find this. I'm lost.
It's in the chat, or
Oh, it's in the chat. See, that's why I've got the
I can
Zoom.
read it to you. I can
I've
just
got
read it.
this Zoom thing. I see what's happening here. There, now I can find the chat. Okay. I have to
Cool.
run around looking for stuff. Where is it? Scrolling, scrolling. Oh, there's a lot of things in here. Where was it dropped?
It's I could just read it off to you so we can.
All right. So where do I put this?
It's in okay in the style field. You want casual.
I can't find style field. Oh, there it is.
Okay, you
Okay.
got it.
Okay.
Casual, conversational, and how real people talk. No flowery language or metaphors. Now, what I would add on top of that
hmm
is this, and this is how you can get your style here. Uh,
hmm
occasionally be blank, whatever it is. Occasionally be humorous, occasionally be witty, occasionally be sarcastic, whatever
hmm
it may be. Occasionally be witty. Okay.
Okay.
We start with that.
And see if it blows up.
Okay, and let's just see how that goes, and let's write your introduction here. And again, just so in case you're new to these calls, in case you're new to Book Builder or Benson, and how we do things, you're going to notice that when you click the magic button, that's the only thing that he has to do,
Oh, sorry.
and start writing.
Tried
That's
this.
it. You click the magic button,
Mhm.
and there it's Benson's off to the races. Now it's going to take Benson anywhere from 1 to 3 minutes to write a really good introduction to a book.
Mhm.
And that's because we're not ChatGPT, we're not
Right.
Claude, we're not using a prompt to write this. And let me just, I'm not trying to bash our competitors necessarily. Somebody made a comment today. It was pretty funny. He goes, I love your video. It's like you kind of like just said, well, basically all the other AI copywriters suck. Well, that is sort of true, but I'm not saying that necessarily all of them do. All the book writers that Derek and I looked at and the team looked at, all of them sucked. I mean,
And then including manipulator?
I found not one of them to be good. So
Okay.
I found plenty of Claude is excellent as a writer itself. ChatGPT can be good, but the problem is when you go and you put a prompt into Claude, it's very limited on what it can do.
Mm.
So what we're doing is we're sending, like I said, tons and tons of variations in the background. And we're running an agentic system, so we're calling we're referencing his blueprint, so we have to reference. We're not just pulling data out of thin air. To do that, it takes a little bit more time. That's why it's not instantaneous, and then you'll see it start writing when it's done thinking and processing. This is the part that we want to speed up, but we so far have been at the mercy of the LLMs and mercy of AI itself. And fortunately, there's some new tech that we're playing around with, which is going to solve the problem. But the cool thing, well, the thing is, we're not going to give up the quality of writing to go faster and look better. So if you guys want, like, by the way, most of Benson is instantaneous. There's tons of frameworks, and we do those, I think, really well too. But if you want crappy copy, great. But if you want something that's going to read like a human wrote it, it's going to be this, at least for now. So that my lecture aside, just want to make sure that you guys know why it's taking a couple of minutes versus a couple of seconds. If you go into frameworks, or don't do that now because you're in the middle of writing something. But if you go into frameworks and you open up a framework, frameworks are triggered on a series of commands that work like work in structure. So we can give it like this list of structures to follow, and it can follow it immediately. We're not doing that here. We're asking it to create something completely out of whole cloth and do all this research and pull from your RAG system. RAG system is the type of database system that Benson uses, and that's your blueprint. So that's the long-winded way of saying you're going to write an introduction. Now we're going to see how those little tweaks work there. So, man, I was beat. I slumped in my office chair knowing I was in for it. Another super long day in my middle.
Oh, by the way, this is actually true. Sometimes I wouldn't leave my office till 9:30, 10
Oh
o'clock.
yeah, it knows more than you think it knows,
Yeah.
and this is we're pulling on the fact it does. But see, okay, now right off the bat, it just doesn't sound anything like an AI wrote this, right? You just couldn't possibly tell. So, but now notice that just read how subtly it'll weave in something witty, like yeah, I spelled it for spark of hope. AI systems can handle patient follow-ups on their own. Smart scheduling was possible. Machines were assisting with diagnosis. Sound like just what the doctor ordered. There's your little bit of witticism, right?
Yeah.
But it's not over the top. He's not cracking dad jokes. Benson is not going to do that. Okay. So
Yeah.
I'm a doctor, not a tech whiz. It's extremely casual and
Yeah.
real person language. So this is why we like this so much. Okay. And by the way, you'll find the little jokes that will come creeping in here. That's the prompt you want to use 100% of the time. If you use that, occasionally use blank. That's what you put in the end. I'm going to put that in there. So use our prompt to say occasionally use X. And whatever that X is,
Mhm.
and notice how many, this is all coming from your outline. So Benson already understands your outline and Book Builder's pulling from it. Yeah.
So you mentioned in the training too, like I guess with this is bullet points, your preference was towards paragraphs versus bullets when you're
Oh
writing.
no, I like bullets here.
Oh,
I
you do
like
here.
bullets.
Okay,
But
got it.
you could, yeah. And let's go ahead and save this. And let me show you a few tricks that you can use for everyone. Everyone at home can follow this. This is very easy. Okay. So let's select those bullet points.
Okay.
Okay.
Come on.
Just mouse over them and then click the focus. Click the got one more to go.
Oh shoot! I told you I had vision issues. Oh, what's it?
That's it.
Get out of there.
You've got that's not Benson.
Something
That's
else.
some other application. I don't know what that is.
I have no idea.
So
Okay,
just
got it.
copy that down there and now click the focuser icon on the far right.
Focuser icon.
No, no, you're right underneath it. The blue highlights are underneath it. See those little, yeah. There you go. Not that
Oh,
one.
that? No, this
Nope.
one.
That one. Yeah.
Wow.
Just click that.
Where
Now
this?
just type in that little field.
In here.
Say nope.
Oh,
That's
sorry.
that's that's where you select if you want to focus on a specific field. This is where you just type in say turn these into paragraphs.
No, just say that. Okay.
Yep. That's yeah, that's it. You don't have to spell it right. Just keep it like that and
So,
run.
oh yeah, I misspelled things.
Keep it
Okay,
like that and run it.
and just
Just
run.
and
Okay,
run it. Yeah. Yeah.
this is good. I like the learning by doing.
Yeah, there you go. So and then you hit replace and ta-da, and there you go.
Oh
It's
yeah.
simple. But the one thing that Focuser's really, really good at is Focuser analyzes the style of what's written so it doesn't start writing in its own style. And that's
Yeah.
why that does not sound like AI and it was written instantaneously. That's
Right.
the only way AI writes well instantaneously is when it has something to pull on. And believe you me, Derek and I have gone through this. So that's if you wanted to do that. If not, you just keep it as bullets. So okay, there you go. Now, one thing I wanted to try to do here is I'm gonna we know exactly how to build your book. And
Yep.
now it's just literally click go, click go, click go, and we're working on a queue system to where eventually it would be click, go to lunch, come back, got a book,
By the
and you
way,
get writing the
this
book. How what you guys
yeah,
think of
this
the quality,
I was
doctor?
thinking this particular outline that I gave the 5,000 word one was for the other one, which is the exit strategy 2.0. So
Yeah,
entrepreneur's brain is all about brain health and better decision making and things like
yeah.
that,
Well,
which
that
is the
that's
511.
that's user issues, but
Yeah,
I
yeah,
just want to show you
got
that
it.
it can easily take your 5,000 word outline and completely do it.
Perfect.
All right, cool,
Yeah,
awesome.
just a real quick note. You might know this, Dr. V, but like, let's say you wanted to change the name from Entrepreneur's Big Brain. You could just click that little pencil icon right to the up to the right of
Oh,
where
there
you
it is.
see that,
Yeah.
and then that way, for your own reference, if you want to go, oh no, this is actually exit strategy or something, you could change the name
Right.
right there.
Okay.
Yeah. And I want to show you one more thing if you want to change whatever you want to change to. And then if you can do me one more favor and then we'll move on. I'm going to show you guys stuff on my end. Right click on Blueprint the Entrepreneur's Brain at the top right.
Okay.
And when you right click
Right
it,
click. Sorry. Right click.
okay, when you right click it, that's
Gosh,
okay.
darn it.
No, you're good. You're good. Okay, now search the Blueprint field name. Just type in book title or book or title. Just title is fine. Yeah, see book title. Okay. Now I want to show you something kind of cool. Now go ahead and just copy that. Just click it and copy it.
Mhm. Okay.
You're zoomed way in, so we can't.
All right.
There you go. So just click it and copy it. Yeah, just
Got
copy that, just so you
it.
can
Okay.
have it. We don't want
Yeah.
you to lose it.
Okay.
Got it?
Yep.
Okay. Now delete it.
Delete it. Wait, what am I deleting? How do I delete? Just cancel
Well,
that.
yeah, yeah, you can do that.
Exit out. Okay.
Hit the trash can. Roll over it and hit the trash can.
I'll see all the face. All your lovely faces are in the way here. I'm rolling over to
Mm,
the trash can.
trash
Zoom.
can. Roll over the. There you go. Trash
Oh,
can.
there it is. Got it. Boom.
Yeah.
Delete it.
Delete it.
Yeah.
Okay. Now you're going to see a little magic wand appear. Click it.
Which
Now the
one?
reason why you don't see that magic wand appear. No. Click on the magic wand under book title.
Under book title. Okay.
Yeah. And Benson's going to look at your entire outline and go, here are some different ways you can title this book.
Hmm.
So if
Interesting.
he didn't have from stethoscope to sale essential AI strategies for practice, so Benson will come up max profit MD, simple path to selling healthcare. But so it's going to come up with the things that we know are really good titles, and you can try again. You can just keep going that. And if you choose one that you like, you just click it and it's yours. So you have this function throughout the entire section of Book Builder. You can change everything from the facts to the benefits to the talking points, anything at all. And you can even tell, like inside the talking points, you can say, look up 4 things that every doctor does wrong when it comes down to selling his practice. Like you don't even have to know what it is. And that's how we built Book Builder. So it's great that you have these freaking outlines, but you don't need them. You can write from nothing at all.
Hmm.
All right. Thank you, Dr. B, for sharing them with us.
Okay.
I look
That
forward
was
to
fun.
seeing that finished group. So now I want to take over and share, Derek. I know that there's a couple things I want to show you guys. I'm going to show you a kind of a quicker way that we're working on that you can already start using now. I'm going to create a new project, and I'm just going to use my open click buy and detailed outline, and I'm going to come into Book Builder, and you don't see a lot of these because I'm an admin. So I'm going to pick. I'm going to go ahead and click this, the outliner. I'm going to say, click buy, new demo, create the project. Now I'm going to add Book Builder book generator, and it's called da book, whatever I want to call it. So now I got the outline, and I'm about to have da book. So I can do everything in one fell swoop. I can say outline, because I just like simple names, and da book. So if I don't have, and by the way, as of tomorrow, you will be able to just complete all this here and then go right here, and this will automatically transfer over to here. So you don't have to do anything. You don't have to copy and paste anything as of tomorrow. I'll let you guys know when that's live. Right now, it's still copy and paste, but we created a way to get around that, which is really, really cool. But I want to show you if I start with nothing at all, and I want to show you what I mean by nothing at all. Now, obviously, I've got a blueprint, so I'm going to come over here. I want to make sure I don't have, if I have Book Builder in here, see, we hit this demo here. Okay, I've got all this stuff for Book Builder. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to do something different. I'm going to clone this blueprint, and I'm going to remove Book Builder. So in other words, all I got is just the same thing you saw Dr. V do. He just copy and pasted and created a whole blueprint. I'm going to do the same thing here. Open click buy. I'm going to say, check this out. This is really cool. I'm going to focus this for doctor marketing focus. Okay. Now you're talking about something kind of crazy. Email marketing, affiliate managers, blah, 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 blah. But say doctors. Now, this is a silly example because this isn't true. It's like grow a medical practice. So I'm taking an existing, I'm just showing you lots of different things at once. I'm taking an existing blueprint where I've got all this filled out. I've already got my stuff in there, my company. I've already got the offer. I've already got all this stuff done, right? I just save and clone this. And I'm doing it without Book Builder for a couple of reasons, because I want to show you how easy I can create an entire book. And then I wanted to show you this, the really cool thing that I just showed you, which is you can build this on top of each other. So you don't have to go into different sections of the generators or anything like that. You can just go in one place. So kind of a cool tip here. And I just love, love, love. Now, this is for pro only, pro and above, clone and retarget. So I can take an existing blueprint that I have in Benson and say, I really want to target this offer only to doctors. Okay. So think about how niche that will become, right? Like I'm talking in my normal blueprint about marketing and funnels and copywriters and all this stuff. So Benson's having to think, okay, well, what if he had to redesign all of that offer, which I believe Benson is the main offer for this, and I had to rewrite it for doctors? What would that look like? See, there's no book in here. This, see, that's all gone. Just wanted to show you that. It's all gone. But come over here. All my bio is still the same, exactly the same. But now look at the buyers, okay? Doctors marketing their practices. Fill your waiting room eager with patients who trust you. Become the most trusted doc in town. Cut the no-shows and last-minute cancellations. Because Benson knows that how would a doctor use email? A doctor would use email to help cut down no-shows, to boost patient referrals without begging. Okay. Walk into a packed waiting room of smiling patients who rave about your care. Notice how completely specific this is now. This is really, really cool. So I'm showing you a double whammy training here. How to make something really specific using this really cool thing that we built called retargeting, and how I can take Book Builder and I don't have anything at all. Let's just say it's not open click buy. I don't have anything at all. Nothing. I'm just going to click this. I could click use my blueprint data and it would just pull in all the blueprint data. And this pulls in how I built this original blueprint to begin with. But I don't want to do that. I'm just going to say, I want to write a book on how to use email marketing to grow a medical practice, cover all this, make sure I'm just say cover everything a doctor would need to know to use digital marketing via email to grow or sell a practice. Okay, that's it. All right, that's all. I don't have anything else. Okay, so because you've seen over the last 3 or 4 examples, someone that had 5,000 words, 2,000 words, 3,000 word outlines. That's great. What if you got 50 words? That's what you're about to say. I got 50 words. I got nothing. Okay. Email marketing mastery for medical practices. Comprehensive guide for doctors to leverage email marketing. Okay. Dr. Smith doesn't know who I am because I didn't say anything about who I am. So I'll correct that. Understanding email marketing. Okay. All about email marketing. Automated campaigns have a 70% higher open rate, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So this is just going to put it all into one simple part. It's a super short book because I didn't give it anything. I didn't give it anything to pull from. So super short book. I can create right here a 5,000 to 7,000 word little mini book that I can give away. And of course, if I was selling my software, oh, by the way, the software does it all for you. And I could do it just this fast with just that few of words. Now, I changed the names, obviously, from Dr. Smith and Dr. Doe because they don't know who I am. I didn't put that in there. I would put, oh, by the way, my name is Dr. Benson. You might want to put that in there. So there you go. And I can keep adding to this outline. Let's say that I go, okay, it's got part 1. This is great. But check this out. Okay, let's make part 2. I need part 2 to talk about using, this is stupid, but turning emails into social media posts and helping my clients grow their practice. Okay, that's just such a bizarre thing to say. And I'm going to say skip, okay? When you say add, it's going to add everything to this. I want it to skip everything that's already added. So in other words, I need part 2 to talk about this, and I want part 3 to talk about using email service providers. List the best ones. Let's see what it does with that. I'm putting myself out on the line here. I'm walking I'm tightrope walking without a net here, folks, because I'm showing you how you can use this little cheat trick that we have right here and bypass everything I'm about to show you on how to create a book super fast. So now it's going to look things over. By the way, skip takes twice as long as add because it has to look at some stuff. So now we got part one. Let's see if it worked here. Oh, it didn't work. I was hoping that would work. I was hoping that would work. What we were going to have, what I just saw, what you just saw work. It is not working now, but it will work. This is what we're working on now, and you'll be able to do exactly what I thought they had it fixed today, but I guess they didn't. Damn it. That's okay. That's what you get when you tightrope without an X. All right, so yeah. So that's what you do. Now, if I did that originally, if I said part one, I want to be this, part two, I want to be this, then it would do this. But let's say this is a quick version of it. This is a super quick version of it. I want to do a detailed version of it, and that's when I would come over to Book Builder and I would create my project. Let's go to projects first. I thought I had one, but I don't. And let's just create this new project. And we'll call it open click by Doctor Marketing Focus, I think is the one I chose. And we're going to start because we already got the idea. So already got it. So I'll start with the outline. OCB Doctors book. And I'll do the same thing I was started to show you earlier, but I wanted to show you this too. So now I could create an even more detailed outline, a much more detailed outline if I wanted to. And I'll show you exactly how I would do that. So if I wanted to, I could enter 5,000 words about my topic here, much more detailed. So this is where I would do that. And I would just go do my research, or I'd go copy and paste from articles, or I would do any of that kind of stuff that I need to do. That's where I would pull it. But if I didn't have it, at all, I would just do the same thing you just saw me do. I want to write a book about so and so and so and so. That's all I would do. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to open this blueprint over here, and I'm going to come down to Book Builder, and I'm going to grab what it's written. Might as well save some typing time. Okay, and that's all I got. That's not a lot. Okay, that's not a lot at all, right? Then I would click on book details. I can go 1 or 5. I want this to be, let's make it try to do 4 parts. You can only put one number in here, but this is how you create a shorter book. If I wanted a 2-part book, 2 parts. If I wanted a longer book, 4 or 5 parts. You can go 1 to 5. I'll say 4. Hit continue. I don't have any of these optional offer details. Click on outline and the magic button. Now, as you can see, it's going to take a little longer to create this outline, and I'm just going to replace that other outline. I'm going to use skip or add, so I'll just add to it. And then I'll have a whole book that Benson's now been forced to write with Book Builder. Like, okay, crap, I got to come up with all these sections based on just that. Can it do it? I don't know. Can it do it in the quick start? No. The quick start is when if you already got like you got 1,000 words, you want to paste it in there, it's gonna create anywhere from 3 to 5 parts. But this, I can control it. I can create 4 parts. I can create 1 part in case I want like a really, really short book. I can create 2 parts and do all that. And then when it's done here, I'm going to add the book generator and I'm start writing. And it's really just this easy. So very cool way to customize the book and groovy. Now, while it's writing here, I'm going to let it do its thing. It's going to create its outline. I want to show you a couple of things over here.
Well, and while it's writing and you're opening that, John, to answer the question, Dr. V, yeah, if your original outline had 12 chapters, keep in mind a part is going to have multiple chapters. So I mentioned this yesterday. If anyone didn't catch it, we do recommend 3 to 5 parts for most books. Now, you could be shorter, 1 or 2 parts or something like that. It's there's a marketing and psychology angle here in addition to the AI, getting the most out of AI. And that a lot of times it's easy to think for people to remember things in kind of 3 chunks, 4 chunks, 5 chunks. You can create acronyms. You can create, if I was writing a book on copywriting, maybe it's connect captivate, compel. Maybe those are 3 parts. But within those parts, you can have multiple chapters, multiple teaching concepts. That's how it breaks down. So what Vincent will automatically do is if you give it 12 chapters, it might break that down. Well, it should take all 12 chapters, but it will put it into 3 overall sections, 4 overall, 5, or however many different sections or parts, as we call them, whatever you choose to give it.
Exactly. And you saw from Liz's example, for example, her book had 37 chapters. So yeah, it's just that Book Builder's not going to build the exact chapters the way that you have them, but it doesn't really matter because it's going to think of the best way, the best structure. As you saw with Dr. V's book, it actually concluded with where it should conclude. It's pretty smart. In other words, you want to conclude with something like mindset or conclude with something like that's going to be like a finishing thing versus concluding with the number one thing you want to talk about. But let's have a look at this now. Now we're getting this to start writing here. It's going to start writing. And by the way, like the little error, like the little message said, hey, don't think I'm stuck here. It just takes a long time to do this because sometimes it can take like 3 minutes to write an entire outline. So just give it some patience here. So it's going to start writing the outline, churning on it, and we'll see how this does here in a couple of minutes. So that's how you use that. And I'm going to go ahead and just say, let me take some questions while it's writing here, and we'll come back to this because outlines can take a couple of minutes to write. All right, that is cool. Okay. Okay. Vicky said, sorry if this is mentioned, but does it have to be a single mentor? Oh no, you can have multiple. Yeah, you can totally do that. In fact, gosh, I wanted to show you this. I really hope that we would have this ready today, but unfortunately we just don't have it ready. And it's going to be the ability so that you can, inside of a project editor, without going to your blueprint, you can add multiple new entries. So that sounds really trivial or techie. It's really not. When you see it, it's really cool and you can create it all magically. Nicole, you have your hand up. You want to say something?
I just had a question.
Sure.
Like I've already written one book, and I was wondering if there's a way to take like that book that's roughly 50,000 words and put it in and then have like the sequel for the next book written based off of that one.
Well, that's a great question. So yeah, you can do that. What There's a couple of tricks that we would recommend that you do with it. Like 50,000 words, we have a maximum of 5,000 words at one chunk, and that's because AI starts losing cohesion after that. What you can do though is you can pull your 50,000 word book into Claude or into chat. I prefer Claude for this, and say, summarize this and capture all key points. I've got the prompt inside the beta group. If you want to look in the beta group circle, you can see the prompt I used to do the exact same thing with OpenClickBuy. Everything you saw there with OpenClickBuy was originally a 60,000 word book that I compressed into 5. So obviously it's not going to take all the details, but it's going to get all the major points. And if I would take that and say, here's your context, I'm creating a sequel. So when you put that into the all about my book, I'm creating a sequel to the following book. You'd have to tell it, use this, but don't repeat it, and expand on everything, make it more detailed or whatever you want to do, Nicole. Yeah, that's how I would do it.
Another idea is you could play around with the book idea generator, and that might give you some different ideas because the book idea generator is designed to it has a few different styles of things in there. So it's sort of like, what else might you talk about for this niche? So based off
Oh,
of this, what are other ideas? What are different directions you can go in? And so you can use the book idea generator. You could might play around with the what you put in there. But if you had your existing book, that's one thing to play with. And then for any of you who don't even have an idea for a book, that's also where the book idea generator can come in. It could give you different directions to go in. And all you might have is, niche, avatar, primary goal, or something like that in your blueprint. And it says, here's, maybe 10 different book ideas. And then you could refresh it and come up with 10 more ideas. And then you could pick the idea that you like and go, that would make a good sequel, and then continue the process from there.
wow, I love that. Okay, and I'm sorry, John, what was that, or Derek, what was that spot called that John was talking about, the link?
The link to, I'm sorry, I lost you on something.
When I asked about the 50,000 words, you said I could find it where?
In circle.
Yeah. Yeah, in circle. So if you go to the circle, I can get that prompt for you and put it in here 1 second here.
Okay, great.
Let me just find it real quickly. Oh, yeah, let me see. Cloud prompt here. Okay, let's go down here and book. Okay, here's an index one. Well, I thought I had it in here. Let me see. Book. Let's see. Let's see. Yep. Let me see here. Okay. I thought I could find it, but I'm having some issues here. So we're having lots of issues tonight. And guys, you're seeing the worst possible thing. So that's actually good. If this is bad, you can imagine what really good is. Say beta talk. Okay, maybe it's in here. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Let's see. Well, I thought I put the damn post in. I thought I put the prompt in here, but I will. Let me see. Um, I usually put all the prompts in here, and I'm telling the story of how I did it. And I thought I put the prompt in here. So let me. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm just going to pop over to Claude real quick and give you the prompt. I don't want to leave you guys hanging on that one.
Is it a Loom video, or
I'm sorry.
did you do it in a Loom video, or?
No, I mean I might have, but it's like I can just find it
Cool.
faster this way. So Derek, if you can, there's a couple of questions you
Yeah,
can field while
I
I'm
can
doing this.
demo something here real quick while you're doing that. So I got a question about the book idea generator. So I just pulled up, just quickly went into a new project, opened up the book idea generator, and that's found if you're in Book Builder. That's step one, which you could skip it, obviously if you already have ideas. But I opened up the blueprint that we just created. This is with the doctor focus, right? So hypothetical thing for doctors, email marketing and stuff. What the idea generator will do is, yes, it can talk about email marketing for doctors, but let's say this was your existing blueprint. You've already written a book on email marketing for doctors. It'll go into different directions. So maybe just a follow-up book or a different book in a series, just all about zero cancellations. So one of the things this will do is it'll niche into other topics or getting referrals as a doctor, right? So patient referrals, complex explanations, mindful medical practice. So one idea is going to give you is kind of in line with what you already have, but it's going to go into, you've already written a book on email marketing for doctors and you want to write a whole series of books for doctors in this hypothetical example. Let's write a book on zero cancellations, getting referrals, complex explanations, uh, cultivating presence and empathy in medicine, balanced doctor, time management for doctors. We got another book on email, but truth about patient engagement, HIPAA friendly email guide. So now we have an email guide, but it's now specific to HIPAA. So you see this goes into directions, it goes into niches. It might, sometimes it'll even tailor it to different audiences. So it's not doing it here because this really is the focus on doctors. But if you had a more broad category, it might say, let's say you wrote a book on time management, it might say time management for insert group or whatever, emotional intelligence tactics for doctors. So this is great. Once again, if you don't have any ideas or you go, I've already written a book. I know my audience is doctors. I've already written about email for them. What are different topics that I might also talk about for another book?
Cool.
Yeah. Dr. B says love zero cancellations. So this is really cool too. There's also like a bonus generator, and that's just regular Benson, not specific to Book Builder. We've built some things in there where you might, a lot of this is designed. I have a course, I have a book, I want to sell it. There's things in there where you go, I want an idea for a bonus. I want an idea for a new course, or in this case, I want an idea for a new book. That's where some of these idea generators can really come in handy.
Okay. I'm putting my prompt to compress in there for you, Nicole, but also for everybody else. Sorry it took so long to find this, but a couple tricks to these, we'll give you some prompt tricks too. We always give contextual prompts, meaning what is the context of the AI? In this case, they're the greatest copy editor. I found that when I tell the AI that it's super awesome and groovy and cool and it's really attractive and people doggone it, they really like you, give it the Stuart Smalley technique, that it works better. So I say, hey, you're famous for keeping the exact tone and style. So use that because it will be much better than if you don't. And then I always ask, do you understand? And those are a couple things. Now, this works much better with Claude than it works with ChatGPT, but it will work with ChatGPT. It just doesn't work as well. So that will take your 1,000, 10,000, 100,000 word book, whatever it is, and compress it into, I say 4,500 because it will not even get close to 5,000, but I don't want it to go over. So, all right. So, by the way, I totally forgot and share, come back over here and share what I was writing in the outliner. Okay, here's the outline. All right, let's see how we do with the outline here. So now we went from one small part to this, all on email marketing for doctors. So it created 4 complete processes. Like I said, we got 4. It could only do 4, so it just ran out of ideas. So that's fine. We'll just do 4. So I can take this right here, and I just rename this outline. This is just my own personal stuff here. I copied this outline. You won't have to do this as of tomorrow or the next day. So, and I'm going to pull in Book Builder, and I'm going to pull in the generator because I want a book, my book. Call it whatever you want. And now set up here, book introduction, everything like this. In order to write this book, I've got to do one thing, and that's one thing only. I got to open my blueprint. You won't have to do this as of this next week, but for now you do. I'm going to come down to this here, and I'm going to copy this into Book Builder. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to say skip. Skip means anything filled in, just skip it. It already filled in part 1 and it's fine. If I click add, it will add it on top of it and it will make it kind of clunky. We don't want to do that. So we're just going to skip it. Now I can start writing the book. As soon as it starts adding to those fields, as of tomorrow, you won't even have to do that. It'll just be ready to go the moment you hit save. Well, say ready to go in the moment you hit save, and it takes about a minute to save it. So it's just looking things over. So now we're expanding on that blueprint that we did. That, remember, we only did one part because I only typed in 50 words, but I typed in the same 50 words over here. Were roughly the same. I might have typed it a little bit more, but that's it. But now I told it you have to create 4 sections. I forgot I told it 4 sections, so I created 4. So now I forced it to go out and do all of its homework. And this is what you want to use if you want to force it into to do more research, to fill out your book. Use the outliner, and then go to the book generator. That's all you got to do. That's really it. So it's over here, it's still doing the thing. Now I got all the parts in here, or it will be as soon as it gets finished writing. So, and sometimes, like I said, this has been an issue for us, is this whole skip thing. And sometimes you have to come in here, you have to click add. This is one of the beta bugs that we're working on. So if it does not do the skip, then just click add, because it's just like it's hard to do skip. It really is. It's much easier to do add. So as soon as it adds it in there, I can start writing my book, and I can already start writing. I don't have to wait on it. So click here, my book's off to the races. So that book was the book you're seeing here is my open click buy book that I wrote with just the original blueprint done, but with zero creative thought at all. I just said I want to create a book on doctors using email. Kind of tagging on. I'm doing a tag team thing with Dr. V here, right? So I know nothing about this whatsoever, but I don't need to. I don't need to know anything about it. All I need to know is that the AI knows about it. That's all I care about. So I'm going to use it over here. It's got plenty enough to get started with, and off to the races we go as soon as it gets finished writing. Still looking things over. And we'll see how it turns out. And by the way, sometimes, that outline looked like it was stuck. And even it had a little browser error. Just ignore it. It's just, we're asking as much as you can possibly ask out of a browser and out of AI. We are pushing, like when we first released Benson, we had a prompt engineer that worked he was one of the main guys at OpenAI. He said, man, you've got a knife to the throat of LLMs. You are pushing this as far as you can push it. And we really are. We really are when it comes down to just getting sheer amount of content volume and stuff like that. We're asking a lot, and we're asking a lot out of a browser, not to get too techie with you, but my browser popped up an error and said, "Oh my gosh, this browser's freaking out." I just ignore it, and it'll eventually clear up enough memory and start writing, and that's what's happening over here. So occasionally you have to just play with it. If it says looking things over, I'll just refresh it because it's a browser memory usually issue. Let's see if that solves it. So I'll give it a minute or so. So now it's creating. See, it was just like browsers. Sometimes you have to do that. So it's creating all the entries now as we speak. So that's great. That's doing what it's supposed to do. And I'm also doing two things at once. I'm double taxing everything. But just to show you, this is how I would write something if I had nothing to do at all and I had nothing worked at all except my original blueprint, which I could have created with 30 words or less. So literally, you can create a book with 50 words. Pretty crazy to think that you can create a whole book with 50 freaking words, but you can. And you can create a book with 5,000 words that you have a specific outline for. That's what we wanted to show you in both sides. And we'll show you some customer examples of that next week here. See, it doesn't know that I didn't tell it because I didn't tell it I'm not a doctor. So it just assumes. I walked into my dermatology practice this morning, waiting room was buzzing. Dr. Smith, remember it was calling me Dr. Smith out of, what was the Lost in Space? I thought email marketing was a waste of time. I assumed patients wouldn't be emails from a doctor, but as I watched my patient numbers drop, I knew I had to try something new. I mean, it just writes it as if, I'm just the professional email marketer here and I'm a doctor because that's what I told it. So it's doing exactly what I told it to do. And I can come in here and just start writing the teaching concepts from here. And yeah, that's it. And if I don't like the title of the book, do the same thing we do over here. Come over here, change the title of the book. Email Marketing for Doctors Comprehensive Guide. I'm going to delete this one. That way I only got one. But if I didn't like this, and by the way, yes, it filled out all the stuff while we were waiting. As you can see here, it's still filling out down here. All this stuff filling out. So I've got my book here. I can start writing. Pretty badass. And of course, I would edit this thing. I'm not telling you that, I would just let it go. Like you'd come in here and just delete. You'd have to delete a couple things because that's the problem. We're working on the skip, guys. So give us a little break with the skip. The skip is supposed to skip something that's already got written, and it's the one thing that's not working right here. But I don't recommend using this unless you're just in a hurry. And if you're in a hurry, you should have at least 1,000 words. If you got that, then you can use this and you can bypass the outliner and literally just go right to the book builder. You can go right to here. But as you can see, it's like I'm ready to go. I am totally ready to go. But if I don't like anything over here, like if I didn't like the title, I can come in here and click rephrase it. I can come over here and say new book title. I can come over here and delete this whole thing, just like we did with Dr. V, and then use the create magically to create 10 of them. MedMail, marketing your practice with precision. Okay, that's pretty cute. Got to take it. So there you go. So that's what BookBuilder will do for you. And also, this also all works with Benson, obviously. So if email practice for doctors, obviously I got that already in there, just repeated itself. So if I want to choose a different topic, I could easily choose a different topic. Notice we limit you to only one. You can only use one. But if I have mistakes down here, it's like, okay, sending too many emails, overwhelming patients. Notice all these mistakes it found. It just stuck it all in one big long thing. It's fine to do that, by the way. It'll just break all these things out when it starts writing. But I can also come in here and say this. Look up 4 studies on mistaken, can't spell tonight, beliefs regarding email that most people believe that are lies, and then reveal the truth. Now, why am I showing you this? Well, first of all, you don't have to spell to use AI. Because when I get into part 1 in mistakes, wherever this is being used in the book, all of a sudden it'll say, there are 4 things that people believe about email. I don't even have to know what those 4 things are. BookBuilder will now go out. It's been instructed to look up 4 studies. and it will try to find the studies. It won't always be the right thing. All AI hallucinates when it says find a study. That's what we were talking about last night. But if I said look up, find 4 marketers or 2 marketers who are famous in marketing and what they say about email, it'll quote me and Gary Benzavenga or whomever, you know. So it's really cool, and it allows you to get by with so much less work in creating these outlines because I was able to do that super, super, super fast. So pretty cool, huh? Now I want to show you a couple other things, and then I'm going to take questions here. So just this is just a cool little Benson thing, since all of you are members of Benson, or most of you are. We are moving toward Benson 2.0, and that's going to be over the next couple of months. And this is just a screenshot of what we're going to now. Our icons are going to be redesigned, but we are going to go to a left-hand navigation, buying you all this room at the top. So this really clean navigation, when you roll over, it'll tell you the name of it.
Dylan
and
here.
Kinds of cool things. Sorry, guys. 1 second. Sorry, somebody said something. Okay. All right. So we also want to do the same invite that we did yesterday, just to let you know that we are going to be announcing, or we'll be releasing Book Builder Marketing Studio. This is not a formal pitch. This is not something we just want to tell you about it because it's a good time to tell you about it. Had several people, several of you guys joined yesterday. Several joined today. This is basically, how do you take what you're doing here, which is awesome. We want you to write a book. We want you to write as many books as you want. But how do you sell it? And then how do you turn the book into a selling machine? So we're just covering a few techniques here. Like, where do you go? Like, Liz knew to click a certain button and write a certain way, right? But what else can you do? Well, can you turn books into YouTube scripts? You can turn entire chapters into YouTube scripts. You can turn entire chapters into posts for Instagram and Facebook and everything else. How do you do that? How do you use those posts to get booked on podcasts? How do you use those posts to get influencers to start talking about you? And that's what Marketing Studio is all about with me and Derek. And this is the cool thing about this training is we're 2 guys that have both together written multiple best-selling books, all of them self-published. And Derek has made a living out of teaching authors how to get their self-published books into bestseller status. So we want to help you do the same thing with this. And we're going to go over strategies from top authors. Derek's going to cover what he discovered when interviewing tons of New York Times bestseller authors, what they were doing to promote their work, specific Benson frameworks for your emails, for emailing, to help you get your message out by email. One of the coolest things, Derek, I'm going to let you talk more about this, is podcasting. So can you just share what you are going to be teaching inside Marketing Studio regarding podcasts? Because I think this right here is the secret sauce to getting your book marketed, and it's free.
Yeah, in addition to selling books, I mean, selling anything, the podcasts are a great way to build your audience, become famous in your niche. And I interviewed Hal Elrod, author of The Miracle Morning, and he's done tons of stuff to sell his books. Self-published the book, sold over 1 million copies over a number of years. And he's like, out of everything I've done, his #1 strategy was guest podcasting. And if you look at a lot of top authors, whether they're self-published or New York Times, USA Today bestsellers, you'll see they often go on podcast tours. That's like the big thing. And so what I've shown authors for years, even people who just started out, the people who have never been on a podcast, had any sort of name recognition, I can show you how to get yourself booked on podcasts, and not just little no-name podcasts. I mean, if there's bigger podcasts, how do you get through all the noise, all the pitches that they receive? And it's not by doing things the way a lot of publicity companies do. I receive a number of pitches. You probably get pitched for different things, John. And it's just, most of it's just deleted on site. It's just these generic pitches. One of the funniest ones I got is like, I'm a big fan of your insert domain name URL, right? So you get, that's a horrible example of what not to do. But a lot of the pitches, even from companies, aren't that great. And so this is a deep dive into how do you actually get yourself booked? What are examples of different styles of pitches that have actually worked, that have gotten authors and people booked? And I've gotten comments from myself and from students where the host says this is one of the best pitches I've ever gotten. I have screenshots of some of those comments that have come in. So we'll be taking you through, among other things, this process. And it's really a kind of a personalized thing, because there's an overall strategy, and then there's what really makes you unique, what makes you stand out, and what makes them go, I really want to have you on as a guest. And they get rebooked and referrals and all those things. So that's the guest podcasting training there.
That's awesome. And that's again, anything we can do to help you publish a book and get it for free. And Derek, you want to probably touch on this as well. The review stuff. We all know about fake reviews. In fact, Amazon a couple of years ago, as you probably know, they came out with the whole "this is a real review" thing, right? Well, Derek's got a whole system for this as well, which I think is really freaking amazing.
Yeah, probably not a surprise reviews help you sell your book, sell anything else really that you're doing. So walking you through how do you actually find real readers, get authentic reviews. I'll tell you one thing that'll violate a term of service with Amazon, probably other places, not to mention it's just unethical, saying, hey, I'll pay you $5 to go leave a review, or I'll give you a gift card, or I'll give you something. You can't incentivize reviews that way. As you might know, though, well, if you don't have incentives, you have plenty of people say, yeah, I'll check out your book, I'll review it. And then life gets in the way and they never get around to it. So you're in this awkward, like having to chase people down for reviews or beg them for reviews and stuff. So there are strategies that can psychologically compel people, and just different practical things that you can do to not only find the people, get them to say yes to reviewing your book, but actually getting them to follow through in a way that's ethical and honest and gets real feedback. And this is great, by the way, not only for getting reviews if you're posting on Amazon or selling your book anywhere else. Um, this can be how to find, some early readers of your book when you're still working on the draft. And you might be running through Benson and it's, 95% of the way there, but they go, I still had a question about this piece or this part. I'd like a little more clarity on, right? So getting some of that early feedback, just like we're getting early feedback from you as beta users, those of you who are beta users here, you might want some of that early feedback for your book as well. So whether it's your book is out and you want to get reviews, or you have an early draft of a book and you want to get some of that feedback, then walking you through the process for that.
It's cool, because Derek, the thing we just put this presentation together, and guys, this is not an entire presentation. I promise I'm not going to share a whole webinar with you, but I just wanted to show you this. First of all, I love the tool. I think Gamma is really cool. This is Gamma, but the interesting thing is, I just want to hear because a lot of you guys don't know Derek's story, so I just wanted to do this quick 1, 2, 3. That if you don't mind, Derek, just to show like who my partner is in this and why it's I think. A great little dynamic duo that we got going on here for the past year.
Yeah. So you want me to quickly share my story here?
Yeah, please, because I think it's really awesome.
Yeah. Well, I moved to LA to become a rock star. Got my degree in music, so that was my background. I know John's a bass player, if any of you don't know that. So background was in music, and moved to LA. Typical story: sleeping on an air mattress, valet parking cars, broke, learning about internet marketing, and did a lot of things that didn't really take off: blogging, YouTube videos, all that sort of stuff. Published my first book in 2012, and I sold 3 copies. I think one copy was to my mom. So first book didn't sell that well out of the gate. Taking from years of studying strategies and investing in a mentor, my third book did hit #1 in weight loss. It was like, I think Tim Ferriss might have been #2, 4 Hour Body at that time. So for at least a few days, like over Christmas time, my book was #1 in weight loss, and his was like #2 or 3 or something like that. So pretty big accomplishment, since I was also a fan of Tim Ferriss. Made like almost $6,000 in royalties in 11 days, which was huge for me when I was, broke and sleeping on an air mattress. And so I kind of cracked the code that I want to make sure I knew really what I was doing. So published multiple books, personal development things, was able to hit #1 in some of the most competitive categories, sold over 100,000 copies of the books through Amazon and different places. And so since then, since about 2013, I've been coaching authors on a lot of things just related to book marketing. Some of the things that you see here. How do you hit #1 on Amazon? More importantly than that, though, I mean, selling a lot of books is cool. That's not for most people where the income is. It's what we're talking about here when you have courses, coaching programs. The back end is really where the income is. So in addition to, yeah, selling books is fine. These days, I'm happy to give away books as lead magnets. I have a lot of books that, even the books that sell, a lot of times I'll offer them for free for opt-ins and stuff, because it really is, the book is more of a tool to build your authority, build your audience, and ultimately lead people into other things that you're selling. And so that's part of the strategy that I work with authors, whether, yes, I can help you write a book. Yes, I can help you hit bestseller status. That's all great. Really, where does it go from there? And that's a big thing that I teach and that we're covering in the marketing studio side of things.
Yeah, and so we wanted to just give you like a quick heads up on what we're doing and to see if you want to be a part of this. This is obviously not a full webinar or anything like that, but the coolest promise that we're going to make is attract 500 new email subscribers in 30 days. Now that alone right there, what we can teach you about email marketing. In case you don't know, I wrote Open Click Buy. That's not just a book title that we made up for Book Builder. That's actually a real book and a bestseller on Amazon. But we know a little bit about email marketing. So 500 subscribers, yeah, we did a $250,000 with 1,400 subscribers. So that's you can definitely make 500 subscribers make you a lot of money if you know how to use it quickly. So that's really cool. And then what we've been talking about inside this chat is turning every page into a selling machine. So how to monetize, multiply, and how to get those affiliate offers, where to put them, things that you might not normally have thought about, like, oh, I didn't think about becoming an affiliate of XYZ, but that makes total sense. Some of it's just how you think through it, and we want to help you do that. So find influencers, promote your book, everything we've been talking about, and then covers, because Derek interviewed Matt Stone, over 17,000 covers. What makes something stand out on Amazon? We're going to give you lots of tricks. A couple of my favorites from guys that are just monsters on Amazon. They're going to surprise you, and they might cause you to change the title of your book, but it will definitely help your book stand out for sure on Amazon. And when people search for the topic, your book's going to be one of the very first things they see. So that's really kind of cool. And then how to get the formatting down pat. Getting the book out of Benson and Book Builder, you got all the words, but what do you do with them after that? So this is what we're talking about here. This is going to be live group coaching calls. There are going to be 2 per month. And we really want to build a very, very tight knit audience. So we're a group here. We're only going to do this with 100 people to start with, and we want to build a tight little community. And this is going to be just a personal invitation for you guys. You guys are by far and away the people that we think would be the most beneficial for this. I'm not selling this to the super crowd. I'm not selling this to my entire list. I'm just talking to you guys about it. We're going to give you the author super funnel. This is my $60 million funnel. So we're putting it all into Benson. We're going to putting it all into where you have it instant access to it. And that's going to give you a massive head start. And then talk about how to customize your funnels as well inside the training. So this is a $14.99 course. We are selling it for $29.99 for reals. Whenever we get past our first 100, that's going to be the actual real, no marketing bullshit price, $29.99. And at the very least, I cannot see this being anything under $24.99. But so you're looking at $1,500 saving here with $14.99, and that's because we're just doing this as a early bird, early access, first responders price. If you want in, go here, benson.ai/studio, just bnsn.ai/studio, and that's where you can join us. We'd love to have you. Now, a couple things that are not on here that I do want to tell you. Please write these down if you have to. They're in the long form webinar, but I'm giving away AI funnel profits as just an incentive for you guys to get this. Now, if you're a member of AICA, you already get AI funnel profits. So I'm going to give away Lead Alchemy to you. So you're getting $1,000 courses here as part of joining the studio. So it's kind of pays for itself. So kind of a cool thing that's in here as well. So you're going to get live coaching. It's going to be group coaching, and it's going to be highly personalized like all of our stuff is. And then of course, all the techniques on how to use the book builder to do all of this for you. So kind of cool. If you want to join us, we'd love to have you. It's definitely not a hard pitch or anything, but we would love to have you if you're interested. So you can get here and go if you want in. All right, cool. Let's look at some questions from everybody. Make sure I got all the questions covered before I have to take off and go see. We're going to see a, crazy as it sounds, we're going to see a mentalist. And it's so weird. I'm really good friends with a mentalist from Great Britain. His name's Kennedy, and he's phenomenal. He's one of the most brilliant guys. Just to watch him, like, it's crazy. And so our community let us know, hey, we have a mentalist from England coming over. I'm like, it's got to be Kennedy. I mean, how many of them can there be, right? Well, it's not. So somebody else. So we're going to see him tonight and hopefully get our minds blown. But that's a kind of rare thing. It's one of the few times I won't be answering emails. All right. So, yep. Dr. VS, once I use my word allotment, you'll see a little button that pops up, says, hey, you're out of words. You might want to get more. That's where you see that. And by the way, that's something that we're working on with it. We're doing a lot of UX stuff. Like I just showed you, the left hand nav is going to give you all the headroom, and the whole thing's going to be redesigned. Um, but keeping the same basic look so you don't feel lost, because that was kind of important. But part of that is like, okay, where do I go get words? We show you when you need them, but we want to make sure you can see your word accounts, and you can see them obviously in the words. But when you see them ticking down, you're going to get a little messages. Thank you, Janine. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thanks, Sean. Okay, okay. Marcus, yeah, Joseph, yeah, Joseph, yeah, you'd be proud of me. I actually remembered because it's like Joseph asked about that, and it's completely fair. He said, hey, I'm just curious, I'm in AICA, and I've already got AI copy profit, which is true. I was like, oh my gosh, AI funnel profits rather. I said, okay, well then let's make this lead alchemy for everyone that's in AICA. So AICA guys get, it's not fair for them not to get a bonus that's worth $1,000, so you do. And Lead Alchemy's almost finished. My God, it's so good. It's intense. It's really good. I'm so excited to release that. My partner Max on that is just, I mean, he's doing things I'm like, I never would have thought of doing in a million years. So I can't wait to do it. All right. Yeah. Both Derek and I are kind of like brothers from another mother, both into fitness and both into music, kind of weird. And I went to LA to be a rock star. So how weird is that? Ended up playing jazz and getting music. All right. Uh, oh, how soon do you make this? Yeah, we're not. There's no pressure, Donald. There's no. We're starting a studio into February, early March, and the reason why the dates are a little nebulous is because, believe it or not, I get to take a vacation for 4 days, and then wifey leaves for 3 weeks. I'm going to be heartbroken. She's got 3 weeks. She has to go away from me. So we're going to spend like 4 or 5 days with some of our best friends in the British Virgin Islands, which I didn't think I'd be able to take a vacation. So I just got to get all the dates right. So we want to make sure that obviously I don't want to miss the very first lesson here. Joseph, great to have you. Uh, a fundamentalist, fundamentalist. They're probably not a fundamentalist. I don't know. But yeah, I love the mentalist shows. It's pretty cool. Awesome. So any other questions that we have, and we'd love to make sure I scroll up here and catch everything. Yeah, like Francis is right. That is lead magnets on steroids for sure. This is it's honestly, I mean, every offer I have now, and without one exception, if I need bonuses, I've got like 50 different freaking products. But if I need a bonus for something specific, I'm going to use Book Builder. And then when we get the queue finished, I'm just going to go to lunch and come back and it'll be done and just send it off to my designer. And that's just, I mean, the content is just freaking awesome. I mean, just please read the content. Like I was reading my own content for Open Click Buy going, oh, I didn't know that. Because it was pulling in stuff. It's like, oh, I didn't know that. That's interesting. I didn't think about that one. So that's what we want you to say. And then we want you to say, oh, that's wrong. Correct it. What you saw tonight is a really great example of things like, oh, oh, it didn't work exactly the way it's supposed to. And then, oh, here's how I fixed it. And then it worked great. So we'd like to show you the real thing here. All right, cool. Let's see how many other questions we have, Derek. Hmm. Uh, Okay, so Donald, why don't you just come on next week on to a call with us? We're going to do some of these calls next week on how to write your first book. You can come on with a sentence of 200 words, or it's a paragraph, couple paragraphs of 200 words, and let Book Builder do that, and then you can put your touches in this. And we want to make sure that this is really clear. We're not saying that you just I would let AI do all the heavy lifting for a lead magnet or for a bonus. I would. I'd be honest with you. I don't want to put any effort into that stuff other than looking it over and making sure it doesn't say anything stupid or wrong. But I'm not going to edit. I'm not going to spend 2-3 weeks editing a bonus. Just not going to do it. If unless it's like something I like a bonus, like for example, Lead Alchemy. I'm spending months creating that. That's a different thing. But for an ebook, it's $14 or whatever. No, I'm not, or a lead magnet. I would edit a lead magnet more. We don't want you just turn it completely over to the AI. We would like you to go in and go, okay, I'm going to put my own words here. You can type in the editor, or you can just type in Focuser and say, I really want to include this part and quote me word for word, and then it'll just quote you word for word. That way your mix gets in there. I think that's super important. All right. Yeah, and so yeah, so we already answered a couple of people's questions from yesterday. from just yesterday, people were saying, how do I create a shorter book? Well, in 24 hours, we gave you what you just saw. 24 hours ago, what you just saw, well, we were in the process of building it, but it was not live. It's now live. And now you can go in and say, I want a 1-part book. Presto. I want a 2-part book. So your book's only going to be 10,000 pages. Well, if you want a short book, that's what you do. And now you can do it. So we're here to help make this a way, way, way better. That's what we're here
Yeah,
to do.
and I see Dr. V asked kind of in two sections. You can specify 3 parts. We saw that earlier. Kind of went through quickly, but that was that setup part, and it said how many parts, 1 through 5. So you could say 3, and then you also mentioned earlier you had your fun framework: focus, uplift, and nurture. And so you can tell it, I want this book in 3 parts. The 3 parts should be fun. What was it? I just lost where that was at. The fun, the something, the nurture, uplift, and nurture. So you can tell it, I want 3 parts. 3 parts are part 1, focus; part 2, uplift; part 3, nurture.
Yep.
So yeah,
You
you each have control over this, and so we've built this kind of with covering the spectrum of, I have minimal information. I want BookBuilder to just give me an outline, give me ideas, all the way up to, I really have a clear idea of what I want, what the parts are, what I want to name the parts, what should be covered in each, or anywhere in between. So you do have that ability to control that.
And this is what I would do here. Now, Norton, I wouldn't even have to normally click on this, but I've already got data in here. I would say down here, uh, part 1, all about, uh, okay, or whatever. And then I come down here, part 2, etc. That's exactly how you would do this. You could just label your parts out. And then when I get to the details, I would tell it, how many parts do I want? Well, I want 3, or I want 4, or I want 1 if I want a super short book. So this now exists here in the offer details. This is it. And then the book, start writing. And yeah, the writing of this, I mean, again, this is just, I'm just going to do this in the background when we take one more question here, just to give you an idea of just the level of writability of teaching is really, really cool. And while we answer the questions here, I'll take you off the screen share. We've got time for a few more questions, and then we'll call it a night. So, oh yeah, you're welcome, Donald. Yeah, I'm happy to have you. And also, this is really awesome. Great question here. Can we migrate a blueprint we already have in Vincent into BookBuilder? I think you mean BookBuilder. Yes, you can, Joe. And I will show you how to do that right now. In fact, that's what I knew that question would come up, and I thought I had for you. So I'm going to open blueprints here, and I'll choose something like that. Hopefully, doesn't have a. I'm going to find something that doesn't have a BookBuilder test in it, which is going to be harder than it sounds. Coffee Burn probably doesn't. So I'm down here at Coffee Burn. It's really empty. Okay, so there's nothing in BookBuilder here. I can come in here and click Use Blueprint Data. Presto. But I'll show you another trick. So that's the blueprint data I use to create this blueprint. But there's another trick that I would use to do what you're talking about, which is just very simple. Look, I don't have anything in the bio, so I don't need to open it. So I just come in here, and you don't have to do this. Like in Firefox, you see how this is all highlighted? And this is going to be highlighted too. So everything I've got in here is already highlighted, and I know that. I'm just hit Command C, which is copy, and then come back over to Blueprint. I don't have to open all that stuff at all. Click this, paste, and then get rid of anything I don't need. So obviously there's tons of stuff in here I don't need, but this is what I would do to copy it. So like for buyers, for example, I would just copy all that and just, yeah, that's what I would do. So that's one way to do it. And yeah, that's probably the best way to get that done right now. We're going to probably include like for example, the reason why we know this is going to create this is going to use that created that blueprint, so this will create that other blueprint too. But if you want the exact data for it, we're probably going to add a field here or something to say copy all the data from the blueprint. So if that's what you're asking, then yeah, that's something we're going to add, but you can do it the way I just showed you. That'd be the easiest way. It's just a screen grab for it. All right, cool. Yeah, 3 parts, 12 chapters. Sure. Yeah, that works too. That's totally going to work. Oh, I forgot to, sorry about that. Over here. Still writing. So adding my styles. There it goes. And yeah, I'm going to kind of see, oh, it's telling me my mouse is going to die here. Hopefully my mouse is not going to die. But this I use all the time. This I use this all the time. And I'll show you what I mean. I'm just going to create, like, I just created just with what, 50 words in there, right? So just click it, let Benson look it over, let it start adding to the blueprint. One of the things I want to put here is I want to put like a spinning icon rather than just the words. Little things that, I'm kind of picky about. And adding to that blueprint. But that will take it will take whatever I use to create the blueprint and use it to create the book. So I'll come over here while it's doing that. Try to do multiple things at once. Okay. Okay. Other questions here, guys, before we get to this part of it? Looking things over. Okay. Derek, anything you want to cover here before we show this last little bit here?
Nothing in particular. I'm skimming back through, making sure we got everything question-wise.
Oh, by the way, if you're doing two things in multiple windows like this, it's going to slow everything down. This is the way it is in just about anything. So there you go. Okay. Sometimes you have to refresh your screen. Now look at this. All about Java burn. Now, obviously, I wouldn't write a book about Java burn, but it doesn't know that. So there you go. It's only going to do one part because it didn't have hardly anything in there. Because if you don't have anything in there, it can't just, unless you go into the outliner, then it will force it to write 4 parts. So it will force it to do all the research. This is a quick build. So that's how you do the quick build of that. And let's see over here.
I do see some hands up.
Oh, sorry, guys. I don't see your hands. I'm not in Zoom. You want to answer the questions and can you do it, Derek?
Yeah, I don't know if it's Emil or Emily or how to pronounce that.
Hi, Derek, it's Emil.
Emil, okay.
Yeah, hi. John, I know that in the previous session, you had mentioned a technique for promoting a clickbank offer or an affiliate offer. And you had said you would take one pillar from the clickbank offer and use that pillar, the information from that pillar to generate your book.
Mm-hmm.
And then you would use the book as the lead magnet. And within the book, you would promote the clickbank offer.
Right.
So
right.
I was actually trying to implement that. And by the way, I was using Java Burn. I was using the Java Burn offer.
No way.
Yeah. And so when I saw it flashed on the screen, I thought, oh, are you showcasing my my blueprint?
No.
But
Too
I was
funny.
actually using the Java Burn product offer, and I extracted one pillar and I created the book out of it. But when I got to the point where I had to insert the affiliate the pointers to sort of encourage the purchase of the book, and when I got to the point where I had to decide where I put the book, do I put it in its own blueprint? Do I insert it into the main into the affiliate products blueprint? I was sort of confused. So if you could please recap using the technique that you outlined, using the one pillar from the affiliate offer to as the topic of the book. Can you explain, if you followed that process, where exactly would you put the book once generated?
Yeah. So you would put it's too long to go into now because we're just going to run out of time, but I can tell you really briefly what I would do. And by the way, this is the course AI Funnel Profits. That's exactly what this is. It talks about a model offer. And I had to create a whole course to show people how to do it. It's like, I don't know, 12 hours long or 6 hours long or whatever it is. It's like it's hours long, right? And so because there's a lot of details that go into it. But what I do is I will go look at ClickBank, or I will go look at any of the top, you look at any of the top offers. It doesn't have to be a ClickBank offer. So I'm just on ClickBank, so I go there, and I'll find an offer that's converting well. and then I will take a part of that offer and create a book out of it. So if I know the offers, and I'll give you a great example. It's the one I used in AI funnel profits. I took one of the products. It's the number 2 product on ClickBank in the health and wellness space, called Fastlane, and it's basically it's a supplement that tricks your body into believing it's fasting. And I thought, okay, I knew what I knew all the ingredients. I knew this was going to work. It's a long story of how it works, but it's pretty cool. So I thought, okay, I'll take a book and I'll create a book on, and I'll let Benson create the title. So I pulled it into Lead Generator and said, let's create the title of this, and pulled it into Idea Generator. And I said, oh, create a book around this idea. And it came up with the name, A Hidden Fat Burning Switch. And so I said, okay, that's perfect. Hidden fat burning switch. You got it. Now let's write a book around that. And then all I did was copy the data from their site and build a blueprint around, first of all, their product. And then second of all, cloned it and then built a blueprint around the book Hidden Fat Burning Switch. So what I do is both. I have a blueprint for the product, and that's the upsell. And then I have a blueprint for the book itself. But I would create the book itself actually in the product for the upsell, because that's 9 times out of 10, that's what I would do. In this case, I had an offer that I wanted to sell myself. So I created Hidden Fat Burning Switch, and then I could create my own offer there. And then I would just create and enter the book stuff here. So, or the supplement stuff here in the optional detail. Oh, sorry, I got to save this. Cancel save. So I'm going to save this, come back into this and show you guys this, and then we'll call it a night. So under the optional details here, the offer details, I'd come in and put here, cool upsell 1 URL. In this case, I'd put upsell offer name number 1 is going to be Fastlane Pro. And then I would copy all their data from a Fastlane Pro mimics this here, blah, blah, blah. And where I put it in there is what we teach you inside the course that we're doing. It's like you can choose yourself. I have preferences, like, for example, let's go back over here to them. We'll kind of kill 2 birds with 1 stone here. So this right here wrote, okay, all of this completely just boom. And you saw what I put in here. Nothing, right? Nothing at all. So this is a very, like, it's just written in chunky style, everything like this. I can come in here and say, I want to make this more, keep all this, but rewrite in paragraph form. So in other words, because I didn't have any information to go on, so it's going to do. So I'm just going to tell it to rewrite in paragraph form. So now it's just keeping the exact same information, the exact same writing style, and it's just writing it all in paragraph form. So boom, I replace it. Now I can come in here and run subheadings. So now Book Builder is going to come in here and create all the subheadings. So it's really, really simple stuff here. And what I would have done is I actually should have just kept the header, the title of the concept up here, but that was my mistake. It's human error. So there you go. So now I've got that. And then here's what's really interesting. I don't even have to necessarily do that. I can come down here. I'll just create a little space, put a V there, come in here and go to Headline Wizard. And this is where I'm combining Benson with everything else. Okay. Why email lists are key to earning a patient's trust. The surprising benefit of simple sign-up forms. Okay, so I can create my own little thing right here this fast, right? I don't have to I'm not married to what Book Builder comes up with, and then I just, bold it, and I would actually create a H1 tag. But anyway, that's what I do. Now let's say right here I want to sell that supplement, or in this case, what did I call it? I called it something silly. Let's see. I called it, I'm in the wrong, sorry. Over here, upsell details over here. And I want to sell cool upsell 1. I'm going to say, this is I'm going to say upsell is Benson. Okay. Okay. So, and then upsell about offer 1, okay, so in other words, I'm not using copy. That's not copy, right? That's bad copy. Okay, so over here at my book, I could decide that chapter 1 is covering enough about emails, and this is not. Let's pretend it was talking about emails, but it's not. But if it was, I'd come in here, and you see this as a member of BookBuilder Pro. So I would promote upsell number 1 as the affiliate. And now it's going to keep everything it wrote, but it's going to weave that into the mix and it's going to make it make sense. So that's a short, very short description of what I would do for this particular thing. Oh, by the way, notice when I told it to go find all that stuff, paw box, all this stuff, see it found 4 just because I told it to. Okay. So I didn't even have to look up any of that stuff. Right. Speaking of which, I've discovered Benson, a tool for specifically doctors write engaging emails. You're finding so just have included a special. So it just weaves it into the conversation. In this case, it weaves it into the last paragraph because there wasn't anything about that really to make much sense up there. But that's how I would do that. So hopefully that gives you enough to go on, and then I would rebold it. There you go.
Yeah, thank you very much.
All right. So Dr. V's last question, then we got to go.
It's a tiny two-parter. Do you prefer Firefox over Chrome to run Benson?
Yes.
Okay.
Very
And
much so.
why?
Because Chrome has a bazillion extension problems.
Got it.
Chrome's extensions suck.
Is that true of Safari too?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And lastly, can you ask Benson or the book builder to search for your favorite sources like Harvard Medical School, Mayo Clinic, Cleveland Clinic, things like that? Or
Yes,
Okay,
you
good.
can. But again, this is the thing that we want to make really, really clear. In fact, right up here it says that AI hallucinates. All AI does. So
Yeah, yeah.
if you say search Harvard Medical Library, good luck. I mean, it will be half of the time it will get it, half the time it won't. But that's not Benson or Book Builder. That's LLMs in general.
Yeah,
And if you want,
I'd go back to the sources and look at the sources
yeah,
here.
yeah, you have to. You really do. Perplexity is the best, and Perplexity is designed specifically for that. Perplexity Pro does a lot of medical research, and it's 80% accurate. So that's pretty amazing. All AI can't even make that claim, but AI sucks at math too. Oh, I'll give you a great example of this. If I go into Grok right now, and I go into Claude, and I go into ChatGPT, and I ask, how many Super Bowls did Tom Brady win and what were the scores? I'm going to get 3 different answers. And I know that because I asked it a similar question, all 3 of them, because I was in a debate with somebody. I said, how many times has Patrick Mahomes beat Tom Brady? And in what games? And I got 3 completely different answers. So I had no way to come. I don't know. So you would think that AI would know this down to the T, right? No, it doesn't. So we're dealing with tools that are simply in their infancy. So we have to understand that, and that's why we focus more on the things that are less specific and let you. If it wasn't for this system over here, this system over here makes Benson completely different. This is way before ChatGPT. Now you see this in Chat and Claude. We were doing this a year before they were. We figured out the RAG system before it was famous. So it's like that I'm kind of proud of that. We're the very first RAG system that I know of. So this is what we're doing. We're calling all the data in here from, it's called a RAG. So we're letting you go into your blueprint and say, I want to pull this in this section. But then you have to train the AI to go, okay, in this section, he wants to pull these things right here. Right here. He wants to pull all of this stuff in this one section for sure. Now, I'm in a different offer here, but you get the idea. So this is what he wants to pull in here, and I have to weave this into the context of things. And if I add something like this, and I click the magic button, enjoy a guilt-free trick, boost your confidence, blah blah blah. Now it's got to work all this into the chapter. See, so this is what gives you complete control. Like if I, for example, let's say that me personally, coffee was against my religion, or I thought coffee was the most awful thing you could put in your body. I don't. I thank God I drink it every morning, just a little bit. But then I would never use this, and I would say, whatever you do, don't drink coffee. But the AI doesn't know that, but now it does because it has this RAG to fall back on, and that's what makes Benson and BookBuilder really, really, really cool.
But you
So
could
you have
enter
control over the output.
But you could enter the URL of a particular study
No.
in there to bring it in, or no?
No, because that requires a scraping tool, and we are coming out with a scraping tool in Benson 2 that you will scrape data. You could literally say scrape from this website. Yeah.
No, but I was meaning if I have the study and I just drop it in.
Oh yeah, you could do that. Sure.
Okay.
Sure.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right, everyone. Thank you again for joining us again. We're going to let you know about the calls for the following week with newbies to come on. With that, we'll have Donald on, and we'll have our other two folks on. That we'll have Becky and gosh, who is it? I forgot the God. Don't shoot me. I got so many things in my brain. Sorry, if I'm forgetting you. But we will have you guys on next week, and then we'll do it. We'll do it, guys. Hopefully, everybody. What do you think? We on to something cool? That's pretty cool. It's pretty awesome, man. Pretty awesome. Yeah, thank you. Love the feedback and thank you for it. So please list any feedback, any questions you have in the circle chat, and we will see you. We'll see you next week.
Thank you.